The sounds of clashing steel, shouts of anger and cries of pain faded behind them as they ran headlong through the darkened tunnels. The smells of smoke and blood were replaced by mold and earth. Their soldiers triggered deadfalls, sealing the passage in their wake, but abandoning loyal retainers to the blades and axes of their enemies. In the twisting passageways, their strength failed, and they were carried like sacks, desperate in the flight to put distance between their attackers and their pitiful group. The air smelled rank now, of sweat and fear. Emerging into clear air only meant a panicked horseback ride by flickering torchlight that made monstrous shadows against the hillside, thundering hooves and thundering hearts. As a grey dawn broke, they made camp in a damp cave that swarmed with crawling vermin. They roused themselves, dismissed their soldiers to guard the entrance of the cave in the rain, and held council. At first they spat filthy curses and swore unspeakable torments against those that dared rise up against them. Then they cast blame at their soldiers, their advisers, and each other. It seemed impossible that the invective, bile, and contempt did not set fire to the very air. Such was the fury in their words. Then, like the cracking of a whip or a sudden slap that stuns the senses, a voice cut through the tumult. "Silence! We all failed and we're all to blame." The cave was still, and the stillness grew. Then, with all our skills and knowledge, we grew complacent. We stopped tending and started taking. When we began, we believed that we could do better. We believed that ours was the better way to rule, through thought and common sense for the good of all, not at the petty whims of strong men and women who thought they had a right to rule because of whose loins they had sprung from. Faint sounds of rain filtered in from outside. We stepped from our path to ease ourselves and said it was only fair. We took the best because we said it was just to reward our efforts. Only little steps, we said. Surely it won't matter. By the time we looked back, our path was lost. There was a pause. We failed because we can't be trusted in ourselves. That truth landed hard. A low conversation began then, point and counterpoint, logic and rebuff, proposal and dismissal, reaffirmation and then resolve. There is a way to ensure that we remain true to our ideals collectively, a cautious voice ventured. This softly spoken proposition was met with fierce rejection, objection, denial, and then tentative curiosity. You know of what I speak, an arrangement, a compact, a bargain. The soldiers waiting outside in the rain looked nervously towards the cave entrance at the sudden torrent of raised voices. One cleared his throat and ventured, "The sisters be passionate about their discussions." He nudged a nearby companion. "Go and have a look and see if they need anything." His companion blanched, not bloody likely. They went back to sitting in the rain and pretending that they were just relaxing. As the rain dripped from their noses and ran down the backs of their necks, it was harder to pretend nonchalance. But when frigid air roiled from the cave mouth and swarms of gnats, midges, and other loathsome insects boiled from the entrance, the soldiers delivered a masterclass performance of such studious indifference that a bystander would have thought them carved from stone, albeit stones that sweated profusely. "And as to my payment," the beautiful man said, "these things have long been stipulated." The women seated around him looked down at the floor. The negotiation had taken some time, and the effort to initiate and maintain the ritual was exhausting. "You require," the sister tasked with negotiating asked, "not to be boorish, but blood, souls to be exact." The man, he really was astonishingly beautiful, passed his gaze over the gathered women. "Surely there are those who have wronged you that deserve to be removed to ease your lives, your new enhanced lives." The women sat very still, despite the cold. Sweat beaded their foreheads. "Ah, I see it now," the man purred. A thorn in your sides indeed. The cause of your current predicament. Let's say 3 thorns. 3 is a good number, a meaningful number among my kind. A man, a woman, and a babe. Not too great a cost when weighed against the good you desire to do. Great works often require painful pruning. Several of the women fidgeted, the control fraying, dissent bubbling up. Agreed. Yes. Done. Several voices spoke in unison. Excellent. Done and done. The man clapped his hands, smiled broadly, and vanished. Warm air rushed in and dissipated the cold. A scent of ashes remained. One voice breaking, "What have we done?"